mutura. So basically I ground that beef with my blender, and on the side there I have my greens. You need to have your mutura. Your mutura needs to have some greens so that it can add some taste, flavor, and coloring. So you can see me there. The greens that I had is onions, the normal red onions, garlic, then we have rosemary, then I have the dania. So I'm mixing ground meat into the greens, and I need to have it mixed evenly. So here is the point where you can now look at how your beef is. So it shouldn't be like 100% lean meat. Okay, so mutura needs to have some fat because that adds some texture and some sweetness to it, and actually reduces it from being dry meat. So you need to have some fat. So ideally it's 70% fat, and then no, 30% fat, and then 70% of the fat of the other of the meat is lean meat. Here I press it basically just to remove any air bubbles that or any air pockets that may be in the meat. So I press it and let it rest, then I work on it again. Then from here now it's ready for stuffing. So on the side there you will see my intestine stuffing. This is the mutura stuffing. Now it's a section of the intestines of the goat that we slaughtered on Christmas. So you can see there everything looks nice. So I'd put it, don't worry about the water. That is actually soy sauce, has some other spices. It has a black pepper and also ground dania. So that is added there. So I just put that there. I soaked it there for probably around 2 hours so that I can be able to have a different kind of taste for the casing. And you can see I tie the end of the casing. This is to ensure that when I'm stuffing my mutura casing is the meat doesn't escape from the other end. So there's an option that you can be able actually to tie the mutura itself, make a knot to it, but I find that especially for this, because mutura is kind of slimy, then I find it probably slipping. So I prefer using makuti threads to actually tie those ends. So now this is the time for stuffing. And for stuffing you have different options. You can use it you can do manual stuffing where you just insert the meat into that. You can use your stuffer. If you have a sausage stuffer, I see them online most of the time, then you can use that to stuff your mutura. Or alternatively you can cut a bottle like the way we've done there, and you can be able to use that to stuff. But that didn't work for me. I felt that it took a lot of time. It needed me to use a lot of energy and all that to just to do the stuffing. So, and I've done this before manually, so that is why I chose the process where I actually manually stuff that. So you may need to have somebody. Lucky for me, I had my wife who was assisting me in stuffing, in actually ensuring that we open that intestine very well so that we can be able to stuff and add big chunks of meat to the mutura stuffing. So this is a hectic process, so it will take you a lot of time. It took us probably around 10, actually around 20 minutes just to stuff the whole, actually like 3/4 of that meat. And you can see the presentation there. We have nice presentation of the mutura. All of it has been stuffed. So we had two pieces, one big section and one small section. So one of the things you can see me doing there is actually pricking the mutura stuffing, and this is mainly to remove any air pockets that is in your mutura as you are stuffing, because we don't need air pockets, because air pockets, when air is heated, it expands a lot, and that means it will need somewhere to escape. And because we've tied both ends of the mutura, then it doesn't have anywhere to escape. So once that air expands and doesn't have a place to escape, then that is when you'll find that your mutura is bursting. So to avoid that, then you need to just prick some holes into it. Don't worry about this, the juices coming out. It doesn't actually come out anyway. So here I prefer boiling my mutura before actually either roasting it or shallow frying it. So that, boil it for probably around another 20 minutes to 30 minutes. This is to ensure at least you have all that meat that is in the mutura is cooked well, and also ensure that some of those spices and juices mix well, because while you're cooking, everything expands and everything moves. So now you have a firm mutura which has taken the round shape that we put on the pot, and now it's time for us to prepare our pan. So at this point, if you are a fan of roasted mutura, then you can be able to take it to your grill and roast it, but I prefer shallow frying it because it gives me different kind of texture. So, and you can see me there, I put some oil into the pan. Let ensure the pan is really hot. So for us, this is a heavy pan. It's, I think, heavy aluminum joakali pan, which took a lot of time actually to get hot. So there you now place your mutura. um, Ensure that you start with a small piece so that the small piece sits in the middle, and then as you are forming that circle, then you put the bigger piece on the outside. So this will make your work easy. It's actually, when you're even flipping the mutura, then it will be very easy for you to be able to do that. Now you can see there, the mutura looks kind of nice because now you have that coloration of the meat itself. It's already boiled, so you can see the color of the casing, you can see how firm the casing is, and then from there you can now be able to see even some of the greens that you put. So feel free to add some oil to it. This is to ensure just you have that frying effect for the mutura, and ensure also that you are flipping the mutura so that you don't burn one side. So ensure you flip every probably like 2 minutes, you flip the other side and ensure that the other side is cooked. So you don't want to overcook one side. So basically balance how you're flipping your mutura. Flip one side probably for another 2 minutes, then do the flipping again. Continue doing that until you attain a certain percentage of, or a certain coloration that you desire. But ideally, this, you can be able to do this probably for the next 20 minutes and it should be done. But for us, we did it for longer because what we wanted is a crispy casing bite. So when you see, when you're biting like a sausage, there is that casing that bursts. So that was some of the things that we wanted to experience when you're eating the mutura. So when you're biting the casing, you don't bite a casing that you feel it's like boiled meat. So you actually feel it cracking, and then have that juices, those juices pouring in your mouth as you go deeper into the mutura. So that is what we are trying to achieve, and you can see there the mutura now has actually taken shape, and it looks really yummy. And continue flipping these until you attain something like that. That is what now we liked. Don't worry, it's not burned. That is basically the remaining, the sticking, those meat that sticks, that got stuck on the pan, so that it's actually sticking on the meat. So that one you can be able to scrap it off. But as you can see, we didn't add any other oil. That is the oil for the mutura itself that is getting released. And then now to the chopping board. Of course, we had to start with the small piece. The reason is this small piece is a little bit tough because it's a part of small intestine that is linking to the large intestine. So it's a little bit tougher, that section, but it's always a very nice piece of meat. So I'm cutting it there, and now you can be able to enjoy your meat. So if you have I already salted mine, so if you need to add more salt, you can add. If you need kachumbari, you can add kachumbari. You can use it, you can eat with that. But for us, we chose this as plain, and that is how you make your homemade mutura.